Good morning, good afternoon, good evening kung saan man kayo. Ito po ang Proyekto Pilipino. Ako po si Leloy Claudio. We will be joined by Father Tito soon. Meron lang siyang guest sa Caritas ngayon. Pero ang guest natin sa Proyekto Pilipino ay isang guest na matagal. We wanted to have this guest for a while pero medyo busy ito dahil marami itong hats na sinusuot. Ito po si Professor Aris Arugay who is currently the chair hanggang September na lang pero chair pa rin siya ng Political Science Department ng University of the Philippines, Diliman. But apart from that, Aris is also a visiting senior fellow sa Institute of Southeast Asian Studies, Yusuf Ishak Institute in Singapore, where siya doon ang coordinator ng kanilang Philippine Studies Program. Marami pong network ng Philippine Studies Programs ngayon. Meron po sila doon, isa sa Singapore. Actually, meron din kami noon sa Berkeley. So, ka-network namin sila technically. And then, he is also, if I'm not mistaken, you're also Editor-in-Chief of Asian Politics and Policy, isa sa mga pinakatanyag na international journal sa politics sa Pilipinas. So, ang guest natin wears many hats, but the hat I'm going to ask him to wear now is a kind of public commentator on the issues of the day. And of course, ang issue of the day natin ngayon ay yung mga nangyayari sa Senado. So, Aris, welcome to Proyekto Pilipino. And I just want, pangungunahan ko muna, para sa mga natutulog sa bato, sa ilalim ng bato, ano nangyayari sa Senado ngayon? Anong girian ang nangyayari sa Senado ngayon?
Oh, thank you Leloy at sa lahat ng bumubuo ng Proyekto Pilipino para sa imbitasyon na to. It's always nice to be invited to talk about the issues of the day. Uh, Leloy, ano bang masasabi natin? Ikaw, historiador ka, no? And for sure, you have observed how the Senate has evolved as an institution, as a political institution. And tingin ko naman may consensus, even members of the current Senate, some members of the current Senate, na nagbe-bear away ang Senado sa supposedly reputasyon nito, no? Since it was established, no? Let's remember yun, in our history, originally naman walang Senado, eh, di ba? Uh,
Mhm.
this was just introduced. We were supposed to be a unicameral um, legislature. Um, However, no, throughout our history, nakita rin naman natin yung positive role ng institution na to, no, as a parang bulwark o isang institution that supposed to be promotes and defends the overall interest of the republic and including political stability. But um, nasa hot seat yung Senado at the moment given that may iba yata silang definition ng forthwith, no, dun sa nakalagay sa Constitution in terms of how they uh, are mandated to handle impeachment processes, no? Sa metaphor na naririnig natin sa kalye, parang dinidribble yung bola, no? And uh, to the extent na may impact ito sa reputasyon ng Senado, which has been needless to say, no, has been um, walang 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 systematic na pag-aaral, but so far but measuring yung trust and approval ng Senado, may impact ito, no, on how the public appreciates kung ano ba talaga ang dapat gawin ng isang yung mga iba't ibang klase ng lehislatura. Very unique yung Senado. And in fact, dun po sa mga interesado sa kasaysayang political natin, there was a time wherein the senators were not nationally elected.
Parang
Diba?
Amerika, parang sa US,
Yes, they
locally
were
elected din.
elected regionally, no? At nagkaroon lamang ng amendment dito, no? At to the extent na binago nito yung hulma ng institusyon at yung mga interes mismo ng bumubuo sa Senado, nakikita natin may malaking impact. There is no other nationally elected at large legislative chamber in the world to my count in a
Ay,
presidential democracy.
only in the Philippines pala itong
Only in the,
phenomenon.
oo, kasi in other presidential democracies, sa Senado, 'di ba, ng Estados Unidos, by state yung
Mhm.
pag-elect kada dalawa.
Dalawa. Hmm.
Ang filosofiya doon is to equalize, no, all states. Kasi kung gagawin nating proportional by population tulad ng sa House, then big states like California, Texas will be overwhelmed, no? Will
Hmm.
have an overwhelming advantage over small states like Delaware or Rhode Island or what have you, no? In other countries like Germany, for example, isang parliamentary democracy, yung kanilang higher, yung upper chamber nila or the other chamber is are actually elected kasi federal sila, no, uh, by the regional legislative council. So hindi to directly elected. So tayo yung
Hmm.
directly elected na nationally. In other countries appointed, no? In
Yeah,
Thailand.
parang sa Thailand,
Yeah.
yung Thailand, 'di ba? Appointed na mga military. Ayun nga ang problema nila doon.
Right, right. So very unique yung sa atin. But going back to your question, no. Ang prinsipyo kasi, bakit ba hindi nag-elect ng 24, no, every 6 years or 24 every 3 years? Ang logic dito supposed to be ng ating framers of our constitution and even the previous ones is continuity, no? And therefore supposed to be hindi dapat subject to the whims o yung kapritsyo ng mga botante, kasi kailangan i-ano yun eh, in a democracy kailangan i-balance yon. Kasi uh, democracy is not just about elections, no? It's also about rule of law. It's also about separation of powers, balance, checks and balances. So therefore, yung pagbago ng komposisyon ng Senado hindi dapat biglaan. Kasi meron na yun sa Kamara eh, sa House of Representatives. So the Senate should be, in fact, and therefore ang reputasyon ng Senado, it should be a bit more conservative. It should
Hmm.
err on the side of preserving and not really, making compulsive changes. Kaya 'di ba minsan may mga bill sa Kamara na approve na sa Senado, hindi na-approve. And in fact, napakadaming panukalang batas na hindi nagiging batas because the Senate has not acted, no, on equivalent. Bihira yung baliktad eh. Bihira yung Senado
Ah,
may itapas sa yung
hmm.
House yung late, no, parating ganon. So may malaking impact in terms of power dynamic, no. Although we've been hearing reports na likely yung Senate leadership will be maintained, but ibang konteksto natin eh, itong paparating na kongreso, meron kang ang lingering na impeachment process. The first time that
Mm.
this has happened. So, in terms of meron bang pagbabago, no? I would expect kasi iba yung Senate election results mo eh nung Mayo. And therefore in fact nakita natin na uh, parang mas given the polarization between Marcos and Duterte, of course may ibang forces outside this polarizing dynamic. Nakita natin na parang medyo nadagdagan yung isang kampo, medyo liliit, but mamaya pag-uusapan natin, ang problema kasi medyo magulo yung groupings sa Senado, kasi nga wala tayong matibay na party system.
Hmm. So nabanggit mo may conservatism, but that conservatism also allows the Senate to pick up where it ended nung previous session. So kung ganun ang prinsipyo, meron bang balakid from the Senate taking up immediately the impeachment pag naupo na yung mga bagong senador?
Mm. Ah, Unfortunately, Leloy, in fact, kaya nga sa tingin ko, no, it was in everyone's interest, both incumbent senators of this itong patapos na, actually tapos na yung kongreso na yon, no, itong nakaraang kongreso, those who are running for the Senate. Kasi let's remember yung kampanya nung May 2025 midterm elections, hindi naman masyado na discuss yung impeachment. And in fact, iwas pusoy yung mga kandidato. It's like something very nuclear na parang hindi ko hawakan yan. Regardless, no? Some even the more progressive ones are even saying na are even trying to veer away from the issue kasi it
Pansin ko
benefits.
nga. Oo,
Oh, it, it,
napansin ko.
it benefits everyone eh. Um, Kasi hindi ka tumataya and therefore you don't alienate yung mga possible voters mo. And you're, as a senator, since you're nationally elected, um, you want to get votes on everyone, no? Kung ito regional elections, iba yung dynamic. Kasi pwedeng some senatorial candidates will say, well, wala naman akong pakialam kung di ako iboto ng Mindanao, ako'y senador ng Region 1, no? So, yung Region 1 interest ang dapat kong alagaan. But no, senators are elected nationally. So, medyo they were walking on eggshells on this issue. Kaya, kumbaga parang hindi inisip yung importansya for me hindi na prioritize with the exception of those in some of the incumbent senators, no, like Senator Risa Ontiveros, hindi masyadong na prioritize yung how important and how crucial is the pursuit of political accountability is. So parang merong regardless kung nasang kampo ka, no, parang wag muna natin pag-usapan 'yon. And kaya hanggang ngayon meron kang lingering impeachment trial that ilang buwan na since February, di ba? And though the some impeachment complaints were already filed as early as December of last year. So parang parang meron talagang may naiiwan na napaka-importanting mandato and the Senate and the senators at large seem to be parang nakapetics, meaning parang wala naman kaming nararamdamang pressure and even if there's pressure parang ano ngayon
Pero
we'll start it.
alam kong hindi ka abogado, Aris, pero legally, wala namang balakid, di ba? Kung ginusto, pwede naman or pwede pa ba itong matengas ng Supreme Court?
Ay, yun na nga eh in I do think, no, na what is happening right now is that we are dangerously testing the limits of our constitution and our political institutions na parang um, in other more mature democracies kasi you don't do that eh.
Ale,
Kumbaga, uh,
do that meaning yung mga
meaning yung
remand-remand, yung mga
oo,
dribble-dribble.
yung pupunta sa Supreme. I mean, when the Constitution seems to be very clear, no, um and of course we cannot avoid, no, ito yung pagiging very legalistic, no, ng ating political culture to always go to the Supreme Court for everything to the point that some even retired Supreme Court justices are already saying that you are really testing the limits kasi pwedeng judicial overreach na yan, no? When certainly impeachment is a process na clearly naman nakalagay sa Constitution. And dito na yung sinasabi kong putting stress is yung banggaan ng prinsipyo ng demokrasya na um, you have a Supreme Court unelected, 'di ba? Unelected, packed with Duterte appointees. Let's call a spade, no? Um, Possibly rendering a decision on a matter involving a Duterte. No, I
Mm.
mean, of course, we assume the best judicial independence and such. Um, Kaya lang, this is Philippine politics, no? This is not just our politics is not just the 1987 Constitution implemented, no? Napakadaming elemento ng ating politika na halo-halong kalamay na sa usapin na ito.
Grabe, no? Kasi dapat malinis eh. The House impeaches, they judge na okay yung articles of impeachment, padadala nila sa Senado, yung Senado gagalaw, magkakaroon ng trial, manunood tayo, and then that's a kind of political process, tapos magdedesisyon yung mga senador.
Right.
It's actually very straightforward. And I thought it would have been straightforward also. Kahit sabihin natin, for example, na nagkaroon ng election, edi itutuloy lang. Kasi nabanggit mo nga, the Senate is meant to be an institution that can that can do what the previous Senate did. Dapat mabilis yung transition. That's the very design of the House ng Senado.
Right.
So ngayon, where do we find ourselves now with these new senators dito sa bagong bilangan? Ano sa tingin mo yung mangyayari kung magpo-prognosticate ka in these next few weeks, next few months, ano mangyayari ngayon?
Ah, Leloy, gusto ko lang i-emphasize, not even Donald Trump went to the Supreme Court when he was being impeached. He did not go to the US Supreme Court to
Oo nga,
settle
no?
things, di ba? Even if there's a conservative majority in the US Supreme Court. So talagang ito yung sinasabi
Pinapunta,
ko na,
hinayaan pumunta sa Senado.
yeah, oo. And kaya nga parang um, sa akin yung lumalabas dito, no, is that sabi nga namin sa statement namin sa UP Department of Political Science, no, while the impeachment process is political, it's not be or should not be politicized. Kasi
Mm.
ang lumalabas, are the senators really behaving like the supposed impartial jurors or judges that they should be, no? Um, kasi ang ah, yung mandato nila, halal sila ng bayan, di naman sila hinalal ng isang dinastiya, no? So, in other words, na kanino ba yung loyalty? Ang loyalty ba nasa republika, nasa konstitusyon, o doon sa mga political amos nila, no? Yung mga amo, kung sino man yung sila yung sunod-sunuran na parang as fanatical as some of their supporters, no? So, this is really, I hope the senators will be reminded na sila'y halal ng bayan. Ah, Klaro naman sa ako kasi political scientist, so I rely on surveys that are methodologically
Mm.
sound, no? At ang sabi ng survey, may consensus. Filipinos want this impeachment trial to proceed, no? And wants the senators to do their jobs.
Tsaka hindi
And
isang survey company lang yan, no? Lahat ng survey company na tinanong, pare-pareho ang sagot na nakukuha.
yes, because sino bang may ayaw ng katotohanan? I mean, ah, sino bang may ayaw na marinig yung ebidensya? Bakit parang ang lumalabas, if the interest in proceeding with the impeachment trial is seen negatively, no?
Mhm.
Ah, of course seen negatively by the one being the object of the subject of the complaint, no, but apart from that, no, klaro naman and sana makinig at sana maramdaman ng mga senador itong papasok na bagong 12 at yung mga currently nakaupo na the people are watching and the people wants them to do their job, no, and their job is quite clear as the constitution mandates.
Mm.
And the more that kaya lang ang problema, Leloy, itong mga to mga political animals to, no, and therefore
Yes.
the impeachment process for them, it's not just for us, parang it's a accountability mechanism, pero parang sa kanila lifeline ng kanilang political career to no?
Mm.
So kumbaga anything that they do on this, whether they think it should proceed, it should not, or how they will behave during the supposed trial, no, I put supposed kasi
Hindi tayo sigurado.
hindi tayo sigurado. What if the Supreme Court says it's unconstitutional? 'Di ba? So, then it's over, no? So, um if notice Lelo, yun na lang, hindi lang sa Senado yung arena no? And this is quite challenging for everyone who believes that this process should move forward. Kasi paano mo ba ifo-focus yung energy mo? Sa Senado ba? Sa Supreme Court ba? Sa House of Rep ba? Sa Malacanang ba? And this is why yung sabi ko kanina, we are dangerously treading terrain here that really puts undue stress to our
Mm.
institutions. Stress na nga yung impeachment process itself, pero yung pinagdadaanan natin ngayon, it's causing a lot of uncertainty and causing and possibly instability na sa totoo, Leloy, unnecessary.
Mm.
Kung tuloy-tuloy lamang tong proseso na
Kung
to,
sumunod lang tayo kung
tapusin.
sumunod tayo sa batas, in other words.
Yes. Eh di wala tayo, para tayong nasa limbo ngayon, hindi natin alam. And I'm sorry to say, no, the Senate has some accountability here, kasi kung nag-proceed naman sila, wala tayo dapat sa limbo ngayon.
Mm.
So
Father, Fads,
I
unfortunately, you have stumbled upon a conversation wherein medyo frustrated na ang ating guest. Frustrated na rin ako. I'm sure,
Ah,
Father, you share this frustration now. I said this is a non-partisan show, di ba? Pero hindi
yeah,
naman
yeah.
partisan na
Yeah.
sabihin, sumunod ng
No,
konstitusyon, di ba?
no,
Kasi
I
yun
think
naman yung hinihingi natin.
we are non-partisan pa rin kasi kagaya nga ng sinasabi ni Dr. Aris. Dr. Aris, maraming salamat po sa panahon ninyo. Ah. Pasensya na kayo dahil nag-aayos ako ng relief goods pagka ano. Sa
importante po yan.
Hindi siya, non-partisan pa rin siya kasi we're talking about rule of law. We're talking about checks and balances. We're talking about constitutional duties. No?
Mm.
I cannot, kahit anong balbaligtad ko, hindi mo pwedeng matawag partisan when we're demanding those basic safeguards to our democracy. No? So, yun. Dr. Aris, naabutan ko yung sinasabi nyo nga na we created an unnecessary stress. Unnecessary siya eh, 'di ba? Na ano. And sometimes tuloy, Dr. Aris, iniisip niyo, ano ba 'to? Diversionary tactics, 'di ba? Hindi mo matatanggal po, 'di ba, Dr. Aris, yung ganung pag-iisip, 'di ba? So, tsaka yun na nga, ang ano ko lang palagi ho, Dr. Aris, is ano eh, kulang ang pamahalaan, ang eksekutibo at ang mga NGOs na nagsusulong nito ng pagpapaliwanag sa tao eh. Parang kumisan ng pakiramdam ko, Dr. Aris, we are preaching to the choir eh. We're an echo chamber. Paulit-ulit lang tayo sa isa't isa. Pero wala ho tayong pakikisalamuha ano sa
Mhm.
tao na kasi 61%, 'di ba, tama po ba ang last survey? I think it was 61% in favor of the impeachment process to proceed, 'di ba? And I want to emphasize that to proceed, hindi natin sinasabi na gusto nila lahat ma-impeach, no? But they want to see the office of the Vice President to render accountability. And then from there, make the judgment. I think, ako po, ang basa ko, yun ang hinihingi ng tao eh. Madinig lang, magtuloy lang ang proseso. Ang judgment, I don't think another issue yan eh. Pagka tumakbo na yung, alam mo, maganda yan, Dr. Alice, pag tumakbo na, nakita ebidensya, lahat, yun yung magandang survey. Di ba? Ano sa tingin ninyo? No? Pero I would like to take it at face value. Ang hinihiling lang po nila ngayon is matuloy ang proseso. So for me, mahalagang bagay. And I think, ang simbahan who is taking the charge in great part no in this impeachment process should really ano, bring it out of the synagogue, bring it out of the echo chamber, no, and bring it to the people, di ba, kasi marami ho akong na-attendan ng mga meetings na kami-kami. Sana wag magalit sa akin yung mga kasama ko.
Ay totoo po 'yan. Yung pagpapaliwanag importante, and let people be reminded, no? Yung dun po sa mga, even yung mga supporters ni VP Sara Duterte, that Sara Duterte promised to explain and promised
Yes.
to be held accountable. Bloodbath nga, 'di ba? Ang sinabi niya. So, I mean, this idea nung naghihiring ang Kamara at Senado, iwas pusoy. Nung hinihinga ng paliwanag, iwas pusoy. Um, nung nagka-impeachment na, pumupunta naman sa Supreme Court para isura yung impeachment at questionin. So, ano yung mensahe nito? Sa tingin ko, ang dapat ipaliwanag is, dito ba sa ating, no, batas at may ibang, ah, ah, may ibang, kumbaga, galawan, ikaw ay makapangyarihan.
Mm.
Kasi tayo pong mga ordinaryong tao, held accountable tayo eh. Mag-drive ka pag coding ka, huli ka. No contact policy, 'di ba? Ang bilis.
Survey nga lang eh. Change ka ng
Oh,
pin ng mabilis, huli ka na eh.
yeah, wala tayong protection barrier composed of political elites.
Mm.
So, akin ang basic na mensahe dapat kahit dun sa ang gusto ba nating republika may dalawang batas para dun sa nasa na mga ordinaryo at yung mga makakapangyarihan, no? Iba yung batas nila. Ang batas nila is, no, iwas pusoy,
Correct.
no? So, yung mensahe dito is, have we moved the needle of political accountability, no? Or paatras tayo ng paatras? Hindi na ba tayo natuto before Estrada impeachment, no? And
Correct.
all of that.
Mm.
Hindi ba dapat glaring lesson na to that impeachment processes need to be conducted and finished? Uh, Kasi it breathes life and energy to our institution. Kasi ang lalabas po nito kung sakali na ibasura ng Supreme Court tong impeachment na to, it will set a very dangerous precedent. Meaning, anyone, any public official who wants to be held accountable by institutions and processes will just go to the Supreme Court.
Correct. Correct.
Saka yung frustrating sa akin dito, hindi man ito criminal case. This is actually just an impeachment case. Ngayon, yung mga ilang crimes na inaakusan si Sara Duterte, some of these are criminal cases. Pwede ka makulong dapat dito, pero wala man tayo doon. Nandun tayo doon sa level of pwede ba siya maglingkod bilang vice presidente natin gayong naakusahan siya na ginawa itong mga bagay na to. So hindi natin siya pakukulong. 'Di ba? Tatanggalan lang natin siya ng trabaho. Pero kung ikaw, average Filipino ka, nagnakaw ka ng ganyan, kung napatunayan, kulong
Tulong ka
ka.
na. Tulong
Ito
agad.
tanggal lang sa posisyon, hindi man natin ma-assess. And assessment lang ito, hindi natin sinasabing tatagalin natin siya. I-assess natin bilang isang lipunan through the political process of an impeachment trial sa Senado. Aris, kanina nabanggit mo si Senator Risa Ontiveros kasi towards the end of the last Congress, siya at saka yung isa niyang kasama, si Senator Coco Pimentel, itinutulak talaga nila magkaroon ng impeachment trial. Pero of course ngayon wala na si Senator Coco. But ang expectation ng mga tao ay may reinforcements daw na darating kay
Mm.
Senator Risa Ontiveros, at mismo si Senator Ontiveros umaasa na meron siyang dalawang bagong kakampi na papasok. Pero mukhang hindi ata tayo sigurado kung may papasok na kakampi or nagbabago yung dynamic. Ano bang nangyayari
Right,
dito?
right. Ang kasi nga ang
Dr. Aris, ito yung elephant in the room.
right, right. Oo.
Oh,
Magandang na pag-uusapan 'to, no? Lalo na in fact maganda rin na medyo may reminder, no, dun sa mga bagong senador of the importance of their responsibilities. And yung hindi sigurado, um ano yan eh, ang debate dyan is tiwala versus, um, naninigurado. Of course, naiintindihan natin that some of even yung progressive senators na papasok, they don't want in as partisan na agad kasi nga they'll be senator judges, no? Kaya lang sana man lang meron declaration on hindi naman pagiging partisan yung kakampi ka sa accountability, 'di ba? Kakampi ka sa mga prinsipyo ng transparency ng ah, 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 na dapat ang mga public officials should be held in high regard, na dapat hindi exceptions yung mga makakapangyarihang politiko, no? So, I think
Mm.
it's important that while some senators don't want to say anything about a particular case, they must stand on the ground that this impeachment needs to proceed. This
Mm.
impeachment will benefit the republic in terms that it will institutionally process an issue that needs processing. Kasi kung hindi po ito matuloy, di tapos na. Hindi natin alam yung nangyari sa confidential funds.
Mm.
Kasi ang sasabihin nito, pwede palang ganun eh. Pumunta lang tayo sa Supreme Court or kumuha lang tayo ng mga kaalyado sa Senado. Just form a protective barrier that will make us masters of political impunity. And it's really telling, no, na this will only add to yung layers and layers of political impunity na um, might be the defining feature of our democracy in the years to come, which is honestly quite depressing.
Doon sa division sa Senado, yung majority at saka yung minority, hindi naman siguro, sa tingin mo ba malinis yung lapat na kung majority ka, anti-impeachment ka, kung minority ka, pro-impeachment ka? Mukhang hindi naman ganun kalinis yung lapat, no? Maraming issue na magde-determine kung anong majority at anong minority sa Senado.
Right. Pero Leloy, I'll be a bit critical here, no, in terms of kailangan mo bang maging part ng majority to do your job as a senator? Unang-una, ano bang trabaho mo bilang senador? Nung tumakbo ka, ano ba ang gusto mong gawin, no? And to what extent is cooperating with the majority fulfill what you have promised to the people? At ano ba ang kailangan ng politika natin sa ngayon, no? Sa akin kasi napaka-importante yung tumayo sa prinsipyo at tumayo at magbigay ng mensahe sa publiko na may ibang alternatibo bukod sa dalawang nagbabang dinastiya.
Yun.
Sa
Tama.
Yun.
tingin ko, yun ang kailangan natin, lightning rod, catalyst that will somehow reimagine our politics beyond the Marcos Duterte polarizing dynamic. Ngayon, kung ikaw ay senador and you will cooperate with the majority or cooperate with the Marcos camp or Duterte camp because in order to accomplish, no, certain things, may legislative agenda, etc. Sa tingin ko that's short term eh. Ang long term kasi na laban is itong dynastic politics ba ito? Ito ba yung norm? And by participating in either camp, no, whether or not genuine or promiscuous, meaning, hindi, I will just cooperate on certain things. Hindi naman talaga ako magiging parte ng kampo nila. But the message is that, for me hindi ito nakakatulong sa mas malaking laban for alternative politics beyond dynastic patronage, traditional, etc. So, ang tanong ko dito sa mga bagong senador, lalo na those who are professing to be different and progressive is that, no? Um, yung personal agenda nyo ba yung masusunod? And to what extent can you really contribute to this campaign for a, a reimagination and the possibilities of a different brand of politics? Sa akin kasi, um, in fair, I mean, I will again mention Senator Risa Ontiveros. Napakita naman niya yun eh. She was one of two minority senators. And yet, kung titingnan natin yung nagawa niya, di ba daw,
Yung Pogo, yung Alice Go,
who
mga
moved?
matitingkad na issue.
Yeah, Lele, who moved? Did Senator Risa move to the majority or did the majority move to her when she started investigating Alice Guo, when she started investigating Kibuloy? No, these were untouchables before.
Yeah.
So because she was successfully able to start a conversation beyond the Senate, a public conversation, she was able to tell the Filipino people, you have a stake here. We all have a stake here. Kailangan natin bantayan kasi napakalaking, no, problema if you have people like Kibuloy, if you have people like Alice Go, who, if you have things like Pogos, no, and because of that, no, she was able to accomplish so much.
Yeah.
Can you imagine kasi pag naging part ka ng majority, ang ano dito is i- i- you become compromised eh. So minsan no hindi ka kikibot. Yun yun ba yung gusto nating politika, no? I understand politics is addition. I understand also that we should trust our politicians. And kaya lang sa totoo lang ang dami na nating heartbreak kasi sa mga politiko. So I cannot hindi ko masisisi yung mga tao na very skeptical kagad, no? Yung
Mhm.
on this kasi
Oo.
ilang beses na tayong nasunog. So I just hope our progressive politicians will see the glass half full
Pero
when
parang
sige, go ahead, Leloy.
parang sinasabi mo rin, ang maganda dito, sabi mo nga political animal yung mga yan, pero sinasabi mo for these progressive politicians, it's actually a politically viable option na manindigan para sa tama dito sa pagkakataong
Correct.
ito.
Yeah. Oo,
Sa
yeah.
akin at
Merong
this
mga
point,
botante na yun ang hinahanap.
Yeah.
yes, sa akin at this point kasi what is there to lose? Kasi if you are not in the Marcos or Duterte camp, no? Sa tingin mo ba mamahalin ka nung Marcos camp just because pumunta ka doon or
Hmm.
mamahalin ka nung kabila? And we're talking about a noisy minority of fanatical believers, no?
Yes.
Most of us or most of Filipinos, no? Are not fanatical, keyboard warriors, no?
Yeah.
Yes.
A lot of them, no, are
Yes, that's a
ma-
very important
many
point.
of them are those 61%, no?
Mm.
So, what kinds of contortions? Um, ang I remember, no, ang sabi ng isang American political scientist, are the compromises necessary? Kasi kung hindi naman necessary, in order for you to do your job and to be the senator that you want to be, why? Why would you do those compromises? No? Uh,
Why do these politicians think that they're dealing with keyboard warriors and not reasonable Filipinos who can be convinced that principle is a good thing to stand on?
well, kasi nga tayo uh, nalulunod na sa social media. And therefore, uh, I invite even even those who are trying to really get into this campaign. Kasi ang problema parang ang realidad kung ano yung sinasabi ng social media sa ngayon, no? So
Mm.
I invite them to really go out, talk to people, go out there and really have a pulse because the pulse that we are hearing from social media is manufactured,
Yes.
no? This has been proven by many studies. No one has contested this na may ingay ito at dahil may ingay sila dahil binabayaran sila to do this, no? And dun sa mga hindi naman binabayaran, they represent for me a very small minority.
Hmm.
Mm.
And if they proclaim that this is the majority, nagsisinungaling po yung mga yon because most of the majority of Filipinos do not behave like this. Hindi
Yes.
po tayo mga bastos, hindi po
Mm.
tayo mga undesirable kasi kung hindi ito ang behavior ng mga Pilipino, itong mga may ingay na trolls sa social media.
But in a way, no, parang yung sinasabi ni Aris, on the one hand, very comforting, on the one hand, very disconcerting. It's comforting because totoo na hindi tayo
Totoo. Oo.
the
And
mean people. We're not what people see on social media. But it's disconcerting because the politicians act as if their constituencies are these mean social media
correct.
keyboard
Oo.
warriors.
Oo. Pero meron na akong gusto idagdag, Leloy and Dr. Aris. Nabanggit niyo ho kanina yun ngang ano, 'di ba, yung dalawang dynasty ang nagbabanggaan. Kasi merong opinion and I don't know if you agree with it na lumabas ang progressive all of a sudden from out of nowhere yung mga dalawang progressive candidates, hindi natin binabanggit pa rin yung pangalan, alam naman ng tao sino sila, no? Na nasa top 5. Ang isang analysis, Dr. Aris, I don't know if you agree with it, was it's a sign also that sinasabi ng mga tao, pagod na kami sa banggaan dati, nagsimula Marcos Aquino, mamayang konti naging Duterte Aquino, mamayang konti naging Duterte Marcos. Parang sa banggaan nitong dalawang mga dynasties, papaano naman kami? Nakalimutan nyo na kami.
Yeah.
banggaan nyo na lang na naiisip ninyo. Kaya daw, dun daw, may ganung analysis, di ba, Leloy, na kaya dun sumulpot yung
Mm.
dalawa, no? At saka ngayon, laging pinopoint out ni Leloy at ni Manolo, kung titingnan natin yung mga top sa Senate, very clear ang kanilang mga platforms, no?
Yeah.
Di ba? Very clear.
Yes.
So,
Ang gusto ko lang din i-bring up, shout out kay Professor Ronnie Holmes to. Napaka sa akin, ah, ah, insightful nung survey nila when they ask Filipinos to describe Philippine politics. 7 out of 10 Filipinos described it as messy, kurakot, puro na lang it's so undesirable. No? So,
mm-mm.
this is how a majority of Filipinos view their politics. In the height of this dynastic war, this is how politics is seen. Kaya
Nandidiri
na,
sila.
oo, parang ano parang talagang karimari-marim if I can use the term. So therefore, itong sinasabi ni Father, this yung itong dalawang candidates na to, they rode on this sense that politics should not be like this, no? They represent some hope na there is a way out of it. Kaya nga para sa akin, kung yun yung sentimiento at sa tingin ng dalawang senador na ito yung sentimiento kung bakit sila naluklok. When surveys have were very skeptical of them being placed, di ba? Only one survey na iba yung metodolohiya predicted yung kanilang placing. Then sana maisip din nila na uh, uh, hindi lang ako naboto because yung nagawa ko before, but ano yung gagawin ko pa? And yung mga gagawin ko is beyond simply edukasyon, pagkain, and all of that eh. Kasi parang ang lumalabas, no? Representante sila or yung bumoto sa kanila ng isang sentimiento na ang politika sa Pilipinas, no? Pwedeng mabago, pwedeng
Mhm.
umalis sa
Mm.
nakasanayan na sa business as usual. And
Oo.
therefore, any hint na unintentionally man, no, that they will contribute, add, or reinforce this brand of politics. Naku po, ibig sabihin heartbroken na naman yung maraming mga botante. Ibig sabihin, so sa akin short-term gain ba or yung long-term fight?
Correct.
Kailan po tayo mag-i-invest sa mas malahaba at mas malaking laban? Kasi are we just settling for small victories here? Or should we really build, no? At in the end, no, hindi tayo mananalo sa 2028, hindi ito mananalo ng even but if you look at other countries that have done their politics, no, differently, isang long-term campaign to eh. Pero ang tanong, kailan tayo magsisimula? At kung nasimulan natin, paano natin ito mapapagpatuloy, no?
And now is the perfect time to start, di ba? Kasi bago yung media ecosystem mo, bago yung diskurso from the ground. This election showed that you can't predict the Philippine electorate anymore. In other words, pag unpredictable yung Philippine electorate, exciting yun. Pero also, an unpredictable electorate is a persuadable electorate. So this is the perfect time to launch something new dahil ang daming nagbabago. At kung ngayon ka pa
Correct.
atras, di yung
Oo.
golden opportunity mo mawawala. Baka mag-settle na ulit yung politics into a kind of stasis that you can't break. Pero habang ngayon na binabalasa pa ang mga bagay, napaka-exciting at dito ka talaga dapat manindigan. So, napakalaki ng panghihinayang ko kung hindi nila ginawa yun ngayon. Kasi hindi ko alam.
Ah, siguro, Leloy and Dr. Aris, if I can add, and I will keep quiet, I will leave the closing to you, Leloy and Dr. Aris. Ah, defining moment to sa dalawang nanalo na naging parang naging simbolo sila nitong pag-asa at pag-asa at desire ng mga tao na malinis yung magulong politika, no? So that's my ending statement.
Yeah, I'll offer an ending statement and then I'll have our guest closer. And this has been a great episode for me because we tackled so many things. Maglalagom lang ako ng konti. Una, tinakal natin yung Senate as an institution sa Pilipinas. Si Manolo always says, every senator is a republic on their own kasi nga nationally elected. And the thing that blew my mind really in this episode is only in the Philippines pala yung ganong klaseng institution. Because everywhere else, senators are either locally elected or even appointed in the case of Thailand. So we really have to, so mahirap itong topic na diniscuss natin ngayon kasi there's no way to compare the Philippine Senate. Kaya medyo terra nullius yung usapan. And we really need the skills of kind of like really grounded political scientists like our guest to kind of decipher this very strange institution. Yun yung conceptual take home ko today. And yung pangalawa, yung I think yung more important take home for me today is this is a great opportunity for new politics to begin. Yung I don't know how long this period will last, but definitely during this period, clear yung electoral signals, may nahanap ng mga bago yung mga tao, and new politics is there for the taking. And if you don't take it, lugi ka, unang-una lugi ka, pangalawa lugi-lugi yung mga botante mo, and most importantly, lugi yung taong bayan. So, yun yung take home ko today, and I'll have our guest close the episode.
Lalo hindi natin nabanggit and Father, no? Itong appetite, this national appetite for new politics and progressive politics, nakita din natin sa party list who are also nationally
Correct.
elected. And
Correct. Yeah.
sa tingin ko, yung conversation, yung mga party list reps na nanalo, no? Si former Senator De Lima, Chel Jokno, the Akbayan reps, no? Wala namang question mark sa kanila, di ba? Meaning, some of them might even, might even work with the majority, but there's no really big dark cloud of doubt on how they will profess and how they will conduct their politics. So therefore, ang gusto ko pong sabihin sa mga hindi lamang po sa mga politiko, sa civil society, it's something that I also study, and also sa mga nakikinig po at nanonood ng programang to, the May 2025 elections have revealed that there is an appetite for a politics that transcends dynasties, that transcends corruption, that transcends impunity, that transcends, no, that politics is simply about power, and those without power should just, take it like a champ, no, meaning to suffer. uh we Kaya lang ang problema, no, we must take advantage, sabi ni Leloy, we must be quick, we must not, kasi yung momentum pwedeng mawala. This hope for new politics, it can easily transcend, no, to apathy, no? At sa tingin ko, pag nagkaroon pa ng apathy out of it or nagkaroon ng heartbreak out of it, baka hindi na tayo makakuha ng ganong klaseng momentum. Kasi sasabihin ng mga kasi ginawa na namin yun, hindi naman umusad, hindi naman nagkaroon ng progreso, no? So napakalaki po ng trabahong kailangang gawin. I am sorry to say that the burden is huge, but the reward is even bigger because yung national uh, uh, frustration, hindi nga frustration, disappointment, even bordering resentment, the way our politics is being conducted, the reward for our progressive forces, both elected in power and outside, is that this is an opportunity to pivot away. Meron pong constituency hungry for a type of politics that transcends yung politikang binenta sa atin ng Uniteam noong 2022. Sana po, hindi naman po sana masayang yung pagkakataon, because kung hindi po, wag po natin sisihin ng taong bayan kung they become really comfortable with dynastic politics, kasi binigyan po nila ang yung progresibo at civil ng pagkakataon, at wag po sanang masayang.
Oh, maraming salamat, Dr. Aris. You are a ray of hope and a voice of inspiration. Marami pong salamat. Leloy?
Maraming salamat din, Fads. Maraming salamat to our guest, Professor Aris Arugay, outgoing chairperson ng UP Diliman Policy Department. Ito po ang Proyekto Pilipino. Sa ulitin.